Good morning. Making a video about my Kawasaki Versys 650. Just to tell you a little bit about this bike and to share some of my videos and some of my adventures with you, and maybe help out anyone that wants to buy one of these bikes to understand a little bit more what they're buying. All in all, it's a great motorcycle, so I hope you enjoy. And on the Versy, it's a very easy ride. The bike is super comfortable. You got an upright sitting position. It's a nice smooth revving engine with heaps of torque, mainly low down and mid torque. It doesn't have a lot of top end power, which top end power is useless on this bike anyway. It turns really nice. It feels extremely light on the road, and all in all, it's a very nice bike. It does everything that you want it to do, and it does it well. I'm very happy with this bike. I have dirt bikes as well, so I don't need to. I do take this thing off-road a bit, like dirt roads, back roads, but I have dirt bikes when I want to do some heavy duty dirt roads, heavy duty stuff. So this fills in my commuting, generally going out for a ride and then taking back roads and just relaxing. This thing does it, fills it in. You can do big Ks on this bike very easily, and it's extremely good on fuel. It's very fuel efficient for the engine size. It's probably about the same as the GPX I used to have, GPX 250. It's amazingly good on fuel, and it's just so light to turn in the corners. It's lovely. Anyway, now I'd like to talk about some of the bad points with the Versy 650, and there's not a lot, but some of them are quite annoying. First thing is the screen on the bike. The screen on the bike is pretty useless, to be honest. It buffets the air around your head a lot, and it's very annoying. And it doesn't matter if you adjust the screen to the top or the bottom, it makes no difference. So I've had to resort to putting the screen at its lowest level, and then I've placed this on the front of the screen. We'll talk about that more later. That's made it acceptable. The second complaint for me, and this may not be a complaint for most people, but if you take the bike, you know, down some slippery dirt roads or off-road a bit, you're going to come across a couple of things. First off, buying tyres for the bike. They're 17-inch wheels, so you're not going to be able to buy too aggressive tyres for it, really. And the other problem you're going to come across is the ABS is very intrusive. The rear ABS mainly is very intrusive to your stopping the bike. They're the only main things that are really annoyed me about this bike. Everything else about the bike I think is spot on. The build quality, the way it rides, the motor, everything about it's good. Probably one more thing is the servicing of this bike. The only thing that's really annoying is the air filter, and it's not just this bike, it's most of these styles of bikes. The air filter is a pain to actually check and clean, and not having a center stand on the bike makes it very hard to lift the bike if you want to do some sort of maintenance, like take a wheel off or something. They're the two things that, with maintenance, because I do all my own maintenance, they're two things that are very annoying compared to a dirt bike anyway. that's really only thing that I can complain about. I like everything else about the bike, so that's all I can say about that for now. These versys 650s, they're very reasonably priced. I bought this one for around the $6,000 mark with only about 2,000 Ks on it. It was as new condition when I bought it. And I probably saved at least $4,000, I think, on buying a new one. I didn't have any intentions of buying a new one, but I found it, when you look around second-hand market for these bikes, they hold their value very good. They don't seem to go much below that at that many Ks. So really, I wanted a bike that was better off-road as well, and I could still ride on the road. So at the time I bought two bikes. I actually bought the DRZ 400E and this bike for under $10,000. And for me, that is a bargain. I actually have two bikes. One that can do one job perfectly well, and another one that can do another job perfectly well. And they're both pretty much Swiss Army knives. They can do a variety of work. So I'm not saying don't buy yourself a brand new blow it out of your ass KTM or something, but what I'm saying is these Japanese bikes, you can buy two very good reliable bikes for sometimes half the price of a new blow it out of your ass European bike. And I'm happy as. My DRZ had everything on it when I bought it, tank, everything set up. And this one here, I had no money to spend on it. All I had to do was ride it. Very good value for money. I did look for a V-Strom 650 as well, but at the time I couldn't find one that I liked for the money. There just wasn't any of the XT model out at the time with the spoked wheels. So, which would be my second option if I couldn't have got this bike, or even my first option if I got a good one. So anyway, as for value for money, I think you can't beat it. Yeah, I love this hill. It's beautiful down here. This forest is so nice, so thick. A lot of people use this road now. And usually there's a whole lot of little coffee shops. People work from their house, but at the moment with this virus around, no one's open. Anyway, okay, so there's a Kawasaki Versys 650. Love this colour. It's like a burnt orange colour. It's beautiful. 17-inch front wheel, 17-inch rear wheel. I've actually got a few modifications I've done to this bike which has improved it out of sight. First thing I've got on the Pirelli MT60 Corsas tyres, which actually work quite well on this gravel, loose gravel stuff, but they're starting to get pretty worn now, and I'm a bit concerned about it puncturing it because they are very thin. The front one's not too bad. The front one has quite a bit of tread. Now this is the screen that I was talking about. this curves the air around you, and it stops a lot of the buffering that you get on these versys. It's still not perfect, to be honest, but it does a good job. I've also put a switch on my ABS. I can turn the ABS off and on this bike, which is very important if you want to ride this thing on roads like this. Is gravel stuff a lot. This is very important. The rear brake is very intrusive, and it will not let you stop without disabling the ABS. The other thing I've done is fit a decent Garmin GPS, which helps me out a lot. I can track exactly where I'm going, and also it works really good as a trip computer. You can calculate how many kilometers you've done, maximum speed, average speed, all the things that they do, and it's the cheapest way you can do this. At the moment, you can buy these things off Facebook Marketplace for $20. People just give them away. This one has a special cradle, which I bought off eBay. Sits in the cradle, and I've used a really high quality adapter, because that's the biggest problem with them, is if you use a cheap cord going to it for the power, they just come loose all the time and it just keeps turning on and off. As for that, the suspension is all standard, and the suspension, oh no, it's not, sorry, this bike has been lowered, so it has a block in here. They've lowered it, and they've lowered this, and it is a very tall bike. So if you're a short person, this bike is a very tall bike. It's going to be a bit of a problem for a short person, because it is a little bit top heavy, but with it lowered, absolutely it's far better. And even though I've ridden dirt bikes all my life, I still like to put my feet down flat. Feel much better. That's my Versy 650. Very versatile and a very reliable bike so far. Hasn't done excessive amounts of Ks since I've had this bike. It's done a lot of off-road though. So what are we up to? Up to 21,000 now. 21,000 Ks. I bought this with about 2,000 Ks on it, and pretty much just put tyres on it and cleaned the filter and put fuel, and it just did normal maintenance stuff. Tail tidy, but I used all the original indicators, and I put this on there for legal purposes. It's very important to have the reflector. The police can book you for not having that reflector. And I've put bark busters on in case the bike I do go and drop the bike, it's not going to break all my levers and stuff like this, and put a strengthening bar here for my handlebars. Okay, that's it. That's my Versy 650.